think as usual as you record the IA lah.
Okay, I just record the computer lah. Okay, can. Hold on. Let me just put all your face here first.
Recording already.
Yeah, recording already. Okay, hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Crafting Your Resume and Cover Letter session. So my name is Samantha and I'll be your career coach for today. Okay, so today's workshop mainly is designed to help you transform your resume into a simple document, but into a powerful marketing tool that will open doors for new opportunities. Okay, so maybe before we get started, let's do like a simple icebreaker. Okay, so let's get to know one another lah. So basically, I just need you to describe your current job without saying what it is, and the group will guess. Okay, so for example, you might I might say like, I help people find their next career path. Okay, so I'll give you like half a minute to think about how you want to describe your work, and then you can start off by sharing your name, and then we'll guess your role.
Okay.
Okay, yeah. So if you're ready, you can start also, no problem.
Okay, I can go first.
Sure.
Yes. Hi, my name is Sandra. And in terms of my role, I deal with different departments on a daily basis. I ensure that employees get their salary on time. And when my company is expanding to fulfill more headcounts, my role will come in handy.
Okay, any guesses for Sandra's role?
HR.
Yeah, sure.
All right.
Yeah, that's correct. HR.
Okay, nice. Thanks, Sandra. Okay, and the next participant can go next.
Hi everybody. My name is Devin. I help the company to save costs by looking at numbers every day.
Sounds
I
like a
guess you're
finance role.
from, finance.
Mm.
All right. Okay, well done. Thanks, Devin. Next one.
I can go next.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Genevieve. I use words to write about like new worlds and characters that you eventually see on TV.
Any guesses?
Storyboarder, graphic design. Script
Yeah, I
writer.
do storyboarding.
Nice. Yeah, that's quite a niche role. So okay. And then thanks, Jen.
Yeah, I can go next.
Okay.
I deal with people every day. I have to touch people's head every day. Touch the head.
Hairdresser.
Okay, lah, hairstylist lah.
Okay, thanks, Elson. Okay, and last would be Afrin.
Everyone, my name is Afrin. So I deal with animals day to day. I help to clean their sheds and their animal enclosures. What am I?
A vet.
Zookeeper.
Yes, correct.
Nice. Okay. Wow, so all of you have very interesting roles. Okay, anyway, thanks for sharing, guys. Okay, so let me see how we can. Okay, now. So I guess by the end of this session, you understand like the purpose of a resume, how to format and organize it effectively, and I think more importantly, how to tailor it for specific roles. Okay, and then you also learn how to write a decent, good cover letter. Okay, so let me move on to the next slide. Okay, the key takeaway of today is that a resume itself, the purpose of it is to get an interview and not to get you a job. Okay, so think of it that way, that your resume it's like a personal brochure. So it's like it's there to inform and entice the recruiter, and of course to tell them your life story, like your work experience, and they will see that if you're a good fit to the company. Okay, so these are the key components of a resume. So a strong resume will definitely have a few essential building blocks. Okay, so for example, like your contact information, a concise professional summary of your prior work experience, which includes your core skills, your professional experience, and of course your education. So these are important part of your resume. Okay. Okay, so next I'll touch on the format of your resume. So when it comes to formatting, simplicity and readability would then be your best friends. Okay, so stick to like let's say a maximum of 2 to 3 pages. Okay, and use a clean font like Calibri or Arial with a size of between 10 to 11. Okay, so this sizing makes it a little bit more readable and a bit more pleasant to the eyes lah. Okay, so do note that your hiring managers constantly reads resumes, so you'll want them you'll want to not use those bold uppercase fonts for headings and avoid those very fancy borders and designs on your resume. Okay, so these tips here will then ensure that your resume is easy for the eye to read, and of course for the applicant tracking system ATS, which some of you might have heard of it. If not, I will share more later. Okay, so with these tips, these are some examples of a good and resume, a well-formatted resume. So if you take some time, I'll give you some time to have a look. You can take photos of it as well. So do notice how clean these resumes are and how easy to read they are. Right, so if you take a look on the sample, you can see that the information is clearly categorized, and the use of bold headings makes certain sections jump out. So for example, like an executive summary is bolded, your core competencies, your work experience. So recruiters will then know where to look at and where to zoom in at. For example, if they want to know whether you're fit or not, obviously they will zoom in at your work experience. Okay, so this is the kind of like a professional look that would then get the recruiter's attention. Okay, so this is the second resume. So I'll give you some time to take a look at it as well. Okay, you can feel free to take a photo as well. Okay. All right. Okay, so just leave it here for a few seconds for you to look through and then can refer to it as well. Okay, right. So next I will then move on to this. Okay, so then some of you might ask, right? Why is tailoring your resume important? Well, because there is no one size fit all resume. Okay, so you must tailor your resume for each job. So you think of it that way. So for example, let's take it for example, a custom-made suit. Okay, for example, you wouldn't wear a tuxedo to a casual meeting, or you wouldn't wear a tuxedo to, let's say, a hawker center, right? So same way, you shouldn't send a generic resume to every job. So when you customize it, you show the hiring manager that you have done your homework and that you are a serious candidate, and that helps you stand out amongst your competitors. And as we all know, the market is extremely competitive now, so we really want to do our best to capture their attention. Okay, right. Okay, next slide. Okay, so then what are the purpose and benefits of resume customization? Okay, tailoring your resume has very obvious significant benefits. So firstly, it will improve the ATS compatibility. So ATS is the applicant tracking system, which I will share more later. Okay, so when you tailor it according to ATS compatibility, it will make it more likely to pass the initial screenings, which will then give you a higher chance of securing an interview with the hiring manager. Okay, and also it helps you to stand out, and it also addresses the employer specific needs when you highlight the relevant skills and achievements that you had. The employer will then easily know whether you're a fit or not. Okay, so basically in short, when you tailor your resume, when you customize it, it shows the recruiter exactly why you're a perfect fit for the role. Okay. All right. So far, do you have any questions, or so far you're understanding the session pretty well?
Nope, all good.
Yeah, very
Okay.
clear.
Yes,
Okay,
yeah.
thank you. Thank you. That's great. Okay, so maybe before I move on, maybe I can ask, if any of you here are familiar with the ATS system. Do you all roughly know what exactly it is?
Yes.
Heard before, but not
Ah,
very sure.
It's
okay, okay.
AI tool, right, to filter resumes.
Yes. You're right. Correct. So, okay, let me move on to the next slide. That's right. So basically, it's a software that provides recruiting tools for companies. So what exactly does the ATS does? Okay, it scans for keywords on your resume. It could be words. It also could be phrases that matches the job description that the hiring manager is looking out for. Okay. And what happens after that? After they scan the keywords and they match the job description, the resume will then be ranked based on how well it aligns with the keywords in the job listing. Okay, so that's why tailoring your resume is so critical, because it's really the key to getting past the first digital gatekeeper. Yeah, so you want to win it and you want to wing it. Okay, yeah. So do put in effort when you're applying for jobs, when it comes to tailoring a resume. All right. Okay, excellent. Next slide. Okay, so what are keywords? Okay, so just now I mentioned earlier that ATS scans for keywords in your resume. So some of you might wonder, so what keywords are they actually looking out for? Okay, so keywords are more like the specific words and phrases that recruiter use to find candidates. So for example, these keywords usually fall in the categories of job titles, responsibilities, and job specific skills, or maybe even industry terms. Okay, so when you incorporate these keywords into your resume, you signal to the ATS and also the recruiting hiring manager that you do have the qualifications that you're looking out for. Okay. Mm. Okay. Okay, so how do you customize your resume using keywords? Okay, so the best way to use keywords to weave them into your resume would then be through your professional summary, the skills section, and also the professional experience section. So take the what happens is you can take the job description, okay, of the role, identify the most important keywords, and then place them into your resume to show that you have the skills that they need. But of course, do not lie. If you do not have them, do not add them in, because through the interview they will still be able to sieve out whether you do have the core skill sets or not. Okay, and of course, it's a important first impression you want to create, so you don't want the hiring manager to have the impression that you're not an honest candidate. Okay. Okay, so these are also some additional tips to overcome the application tracking system. So, for example, okay, use standard headings like professional experience, okay, and also to use save a file as a document or PDF. Don't save it in CSV or others. Okay, so when using when you use the ATS system, avoid using like big words or abbreviations that might confuse the system. Okay, so use those industry terms and industry phrases. And I think more importantly, always check for typos or grammatical errors and incomplete information, because these are the things that will confuse the ATS and wouldn't put you in a good position as well. Okay. Okay, so at this point, I've covered quite a bit. Do you all have any questions for me or any thoughts?
Yeah, maybe can I ask a
Yeah,
question?
Okay, sure.
Yeah, so just now you mentioned that actually having 2 to 3 pages is the ideal length for resume. But because I have 10 years of experience, my resume is like 9 pages. Do you think it's
Mm.
recommendable?
No, so what happens is recruiters nowadays, they will take a look at your latest 5 to 10 years of experience. So while you have a vast work experience, I would suggest you keep it to maybe max 3 pages and list down, the latest 10 years of experience on your resume, 5 to 10 years of experience in your resume. And of course, more importantly, it's also to tailor your resume to the role that you're applying for. Make sure it's relevant. Okay?
Okay, that's helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. That's a great question. Does anyone else have any question? Okay, no question. Let's move on. Okay, now next. So we have touched a fair bit on resume writing. So now let me touch on cover letters. Okay, so some of you might ask, are cover letters important? What exactly is a cover letter? So cover letter is actually your opportunity to elaborate on your resume and also to somewhat showcase your personality. Okay, so it helps you it helps to tell the recruiter why you're fit for this role. All right, so mainly cover letter has 3 golden rules that I usually stick by. Okay, so first thing first, try to hook the hiring manager in your first paragraph. Okay, so not just share about yourself, but why you're interested in them. So when you start by writing about the company, share why you're interested in the company. It could be the mission, it could be the vision, or it could be, a friend will refer you and you've heard about a wonderful culture and you really want to work for them. Okay, so that's point 2. The third point would then be to focus on your value, not just on your experience. So show them how you can use your prior work experience to solve your problems, to solve their problems, sorry, okay, and show them how you're a good fit and how your relevant experience could then help them to be the one that they are looking out for. Okay. All right. So do you have any questions for cover letters or so far so good?
So far, so good.
Okay, great.
Must I write a cover letter for every application?
Not really, honestly. Yeah. So I think more importantly, if it's like a different industry, maybe you can use it as an opportunity to show that how your current role can then be a fit to the role that you're applying for, especially if it's in a different industry. So then you have to showcase and focus on your value, not just the experience that you bring.
Okay, Ken, thank you.
Okay, that's a good question. Thank you for asking. Okay, next. Okay. So let me touch on the common questions that a lot of clients would have asked. Okay, so let me see. Now, okay, so these are the 3 common questions that I've been hearing a lot from the candidates. Okay, so the first one is, what is the rule breaker in a resume? Okay, definitely spelling mistakes and grammatical errors are a boo-boo. Okay, so they are like the ultimate rule breakers, because it does show some form of inconsistency on the resume, and that you're not as detailed oriented. Okay, so do try to ensure that your information is also complete and have the same details on a copy of your resume when you fill in the application form for the company as well. Okay, and second common question candidates will also ask, sorry, I do have a gap in my resume. How do I close the gap? Okay, so usually what I encourage them is that, you can include statements such as, you're caregiving, you're on a career sabbatical, or maybe you're volunteering during that period. Okay, so this will help close the gap for brief statements. So I think it looks better as compared to, leaving a blank space on resume. Okay. And then the last question that they usually will ask would then be, I have many experience in my current resume. How do I customize it to 3 to 4 pages? So this is a similar question that Sandra has asked earlier, right? So like I shared, recruiters are usually more concerned in your recent 10 years of professional experience. So usually for impactful reading and to ensure that the focus is there, try to keep the content to the first 2 to 3 pages of the resume. And I think that will help. Okay. Yeah, because like I shared, hiring managers tend to take a look at many resumes. Ideally, you want them to have a glimpse of what of whether you're fit or not by going straight to the point, rather than having lengthy resumes. I think that will not help lah. Okay. Okay, so I have touched on cover letter and resume writing. So far, do you have any questions for me, or is there any part that I'm unclear and you would like me to go through again? No? Okay, wonderful. Good. So yes, so this is the end of my session. Okay. So thank you so much for listening. I truly hope that this session will give you tools and also the confidence to create a resume that truly represents your professional values. Okay, so at this point, I'm open for you to have any questions. Okay, and those that need to leave, you can do so. Those that have questions, feel free to stay back. I'm happy to entertain them.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
No problem. Thank you so much,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Take care.
Yeah, you too. Bye-bye.
Bye
Bye-bye.
bye.
Yeah, maybe can I ask a simple question then?
Yes,
So
yes, of
because
course.
yeah, my resume actually, I would like to make it as beautiful as possible. So I've included many colors and also images and all. So actually, is this advisable? Because I'm hearing some people saying that it's good to beautify your resume, but for some people, they share that actually just a black and white might be better. So not sure what you think about it.
This is a good question. Thank you, Sandra. Okay, so for me, I personally feel that no fancy borders or designs. Keep it simple. Keep it black and white, like the resume template over here. Yeah, right. Why? Because the ATS system can be a bit sensitive. For any information in the form of tables, it will not be able to read the content in it. So to not to not be at a disadvantaged position, try to keep it clean without any form of tables or colors. Keep it neat so that it's also readable to the hiring manager. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but unless you're applying for a marketing role, then I think that's a little bit different because there's a certain portfolio that you may need to showcase.
Understand. Because marketing requires more creative juices lah, like graphic designing and all.
Correct. Yeah, but I recall you mentioned that you're working HR. So yeah, so I think for your profession, I'll recommend that if you're keeping a lookout for other jobs, applying other roles, I'll recommend you keep it black and white, keep it clean and keep it simple.
Okay, thanks so much for the tips.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much for the question as well.
Nice. I actually have a question though, but it's just
Yes.
a tip that I would like to hear from you. Could you share with us, share with me and Sandra a tip on how, maybe
On
just a helpful tip on how, when you do up your resume, what is something that you always look out for?
Okay. Aside from the grammatical errors, that I constantly look out for because I don't want the hiring manager to portray that I'm not detail oriented, right? One thing I'll do is that I'll make sure I'll keep my content of 2 to 3 pages and put in all my core competencies within the first page so that employers can see it within a glance.
Right. Okay. Makes sense. Oh, since we're on the topic of core competency, right? So
Yes.
do you think there's like a maximum number or minimum number? Like, I'm not numbers, but in terms of like how many a list of competencies? Do you think? Because sometimes I notice like perhaps maybe people just throw in 15, and I think it sounds a bit too overwhelming, right?
Yes.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on that?
Okay, for me, I think there is no specific numbers, but of course, don't go on to write 30, 40 core competencies because sometimes as a hiring manager, I will even think that that's a lie. So what I would suggest is keep the core competencies close to what you have. So basically, in your current role and the role that you're applying to, keep it simple and keep it tight to the skill sets that employers are looking out for.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, since I'm a zookeeper, yeah, it wouldn't make sense to throw in 15 competencies. Yeah. Yeah.
So for
Good
example,
point.
zookeeper, if you share that maybe networking, then that might not be a link.
Makes
But if you
sense.
share like customer relationship management, communication, definitely that's a link and maybe teamwork.
Yes, yes, I agree with you. Yeah. Okay, very
Okay,
clear. Yeah, I have a better idea on how I can do up my resume. Yeah, this has been really very
excellent.
helpful. Thank you so much.
No problem. Thank you so much for all your questions. I appreciate it as well. I hope that you guys take away one thing or another for this
Yes,
session.
definitely. I took a snapshot of this, so at least when I do up my resume, I know what I have to follow through.
Yes,
Yeah,
excellent. Good. So you can use this as a template, as a reference.
great. Okay,
Okay,
I'm good. Thank you
Thank you
so
so
much for your
much.
time.
no problem. Thank you, Sandra
Yeah,
and Afrin. You take care.
you
You
too.
too.
Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye.